This is Ethan. Ethan is a 35-year-old corporate sales manager who lives in a comfortable suburban neighborhood. He earns $6,500 a month. 3 years ago, Ethan and his wife purchased a charming 3-bedroom starter home for $350,000. The house was structurally sound, clean, and functional, but its kitchen cabinets, bathroom tiles, and interior paint were slightly outdated, reflecting styling trends from 10 years ago. Every evening while relaxing in his living room, Ethan scrolls through social media and watches home improvement television shows. He sees stunning transformations where older houses are converted into luxurious, open-concept modern palaces with quartz countertops, custom hardwood cabinetry, high-end Italian porcelain tiles, and smart home lighting systems. The show hosts constantly repeat the exact same persuasive message. Renovating your home is not an expense. It is the ultimate investment that rapidly boosts your home's equity and market value. Ethan begins looking at his perfectly functional kitchen with deep dissatisfaction. He becomes convinced that if he spends $75,000 on a complete, high-end renovation, he will immediately increase his home's market value by $100,000, while simultaneously elevating his family's daily lifestyle. However, Ethan does not have $75,000 sitting in his liquid savings account. He visits his bank to explore financing options. A loan officer introduces him to a financial product called a home equity line of credit, commonly known as a HELOC. The loan officer explains that because Ethan's home has appreciated over the past 3 years, he can borrow up to $80,000 against the equity of his house at a variable interest rate. Ethan, using your home equity to fund a major renovation is brilliant, the bank officer says smoothly. You are simply reinvesting your home's value back into the property. It is essentially free money working for you. Ethan signs the HELOC agreement, securing an $80,000 credit line backed directly by his house as collateral. He hires a trendy general contractor named Marcus, who promises to transform the house into a modern masterpiece within 6 short weeks, for an estimated cost of $75,000. Filled with excitement, Ethan hands over a $25,000 initial deposit, and the demolition crew begins smashing down kitchen walls and pulling up bathroom floorboards the very next morning. What Ethan does not realize is that he just made one of the most dangerous financial errors a homeowner can make. He turned real, accumulated home equity into a high-interest debt obligation, all to fund cosmetic, rapidly depreciating consumer upgrades. He stepped directly into the home renovation trap, where hidden contractor costs, unpredictable structural surprises, and shifting interior design trends turn suburban dream homes into financial money pits. Today, we are going to expose the hidden reality of home renovation loans. We will show you why most cosmetic upgrades offer a terrible return on investment, how contractors use change orders to inflate project costs by 50%, and how borrowing against your roof can put your primary shelter at risk. 6 weeks passed, but Ethan's renovation was nowhere near complete. His ground floor remained a chaotic construction zone covered in thick drywall dust, exposed wiring, and uninstalled copper pipes. That afternoon, Marcus, the general contractor, walked in with a stressed expression holding a clipboard. "Ethan, we ran into several major structural issues behind your kitchen plaster," Marcus explained. "The electrical wiring is outdated and does not meet current city codes, and the plumbing stack needs a complete replacement. On top of that, the imported Italian kitchen countertops you selected went up in price due to shipping delays." Marcus handed Ethan a document titled Change Order Number 4. It added an unexpected $25,000 to the original estimate, bringing the total renovation price tag from $75,000 to a staggering $100,000. Ethan was horrified. He had already torn his house apart, making it unlivable. He had no choice but to max out his entire $80,000 home equity credit line and drain $20,000 from his personal emergency savings fund just to finish the project. By the time the dust finally settled 4 months late, Ethan had spent $100,000 in total. The kitchen looked stunning, looking like a page straight out of an architecture magazine. But Ethan's personal finances were severely damaged. To make matters significantly worse, national interest rates began to rise. Because Ethan's home equity line of credit carried a variable interest rate, His monthly HELOC interest payment jumped from $400 to $900 a month. Combined with his primary mortgage payment, Ethan was now spending over 45% of his monthly take-home salary on housing costs alone. 2 years later, Ethan received a promotion at work that required his family to relocate to another state. Excited to finally cash in on his luxurious renovation, Ethan listed his renovated home on the real estate market for $475,000, fully expecting to easily recover his $100,000 investment. The market response was a cold shock. Prospective buyers walked through the house, but no one made an offer at his asking price. Local real estate appraisers informed Ethan that while his kitchen was exceptionally high-end, buyers in his suburban neighborhood were not willing to pay a massive price premium for luxury finishes that exceeded the average neighborhood standard. Furthermore, interior design trends had already shifted away from his custom gray cabinetry and bold tiles toward warmer, natural wood aesthetics. After sitting on the market for 3 exhausting months, Ethan was forced to accept an offer of $405,000. Ethan sat at the closing table in disbelief. He had spent $100,000 on a luxury renovation, but the market value of his house had only increased by $50,000. He had lost $50,000 of real capital, spent thousands in variable credit line interest, and put his home equity at grave risk, all for temporary cosmetic aesthetics that future buyers barely valued. Ethan signed the final closing documents and walked away with a heavy lesson in real estate finance. He realized that modern media and clever credit marketing had tricked him into treating an expensive consumption habit as if it were a high-yield financial investment. A personal residence is first and foremost a place of shelter, not a speculative trading vehicle. When you take out high-interest variable debt backed by your primary home to fund temporary cosmetic upgrades, you are taking on massive downside risk for minimal economic return. How can a regular, smart homeowner update their living space without draining their accumulated home equity or falling into contractor debt traps? You must live by 3 unbreakable real estate rules. Rule number 1 is the neighborhood price ceiling rule. Before you spend a single dollar on major home upgrades, analyze the sales prices of comparable homes in your immediate neighborhood. If the highest priced house in your area sold for $400,000, spending $100,000 to upgrade a $350,000 property is guaranteed to yield a terrible return on investment. The local housing market will always cap your property value based on neighboring home sales, regardless of how expensive your kitchen countertops are. Rule number 2 is the cash-only cosmetic upgrades policy. Never, under any circumstances, use variable home equity debt, high-interest personal loans, or credit cards to fund purely aesthetic or cosmetic renovations. If you want a new kitchen backsplash, high-end bathroom vanities, or premium landscaping, pay for those items slowly using liquid cash saved from your monthly income. The only acceptable reason to borrow money against your home is for essential structural integrity repairs, such as replacing a failing roof, repairing a cracked foundation, or updating dangerous electrical systems. Rule number 3 is the mandatory contractor buffer strategy. When planning an essential home improvement project, always demand a detailed, fixed-price contract with clear change order caps before work begins. Always add a mandatory 20% cash contingency buffer to your budget to handle unexpected material price increases or structural surprises. If a contractor estimates a job at $40,000, you must have $48,000 in liquid cash available before opening walls or tearing down plaster. Ethan now lives in a modest, cozy home in his new city. He pays his mortgage faithfully and funds small, step-by-step aesthetic improvements entirely with liquid cash. He no longer seeks social validation through hyper-luxurious home finishes or dramatic renovation television shows. True financial stability is not defined by luxury marble floors or custom designer lighting. True security is a low monthly mortgage, high cash reserves, and keeping your accumulated home equity safe from variable debt traps. Stay disciplined, renovate with cash, and protect your home equity at all costs.